Crypto Takeover coming back with another Bitcoin analysis video for y'all this evening. Bitcoin seeing a nice pump all the way up to 1280, right back at that 12K area, and then right when we touch 12K again, we get rejected. We get a big sell-off, and then right back up, bought back up, moving back up to the day. So BART patterns all over the place here. It's looking like one heck of a week for crypto. Some very high volatility moves that are coming into the market as of right now. And we're going to dive on into the charts here a little bit, see what we can discover as we zoom out on these higher time frames. If that sounds interesting to everyone, please stick around, and let's go ahead and get started. If you are brand new to this channel, we use the market Cipher indicator by CryptoFace alongside with the TI sequential by Tonebase and the market guide buy and sell signal. You can find my affiliate link to the market Cipher if you'd like. You can find the link in the description box below, and then also a little bit more information about the other indicators that I use as well too. We're going to be diving onto the charts here. As we start to zoom in or zoom out, we get a broader perspective on where we're exactly at. We're kind of zoomed in here, but we're just going to get an idea of the shorter term time frames, and then as we start to zoom out, we'll get a bigger collective of what might be happening here. So we did have this nice push to the upside here going over the weekend, and this was actually a really good area for us to long scalp. So we took a long scalp all the way up here in our private Patreon trading group, and we took profit right at about the 12K area. As soon as we touched that, it did look like we were going to consolidate out for a little bit. And so now we've just been kind of trending sideways. We can kind of hold our horses. I'm glad we took profit up here. We had this huge sell-off afterwards, and you know, that's just the liquidity coming into the market on Monday, getting ready for the CMEs to open as well. The market movers have to make their adjustments when needed, so we're trying to work our way around them and trying to make sure that we stay profitable as traders too as well if you are trading this market. But if you're just here not really interested in trading, just learning when might be the best time to buy Bitcoin, well, honestly, we're gonna, maybe see a little bit of a pullback here. Let's start to zoom out on the time frames. We are seeing that the bears are in control right now based on our VWAP. So our pivot VWAP is right at about 11K 80, and then we're also starting to see where we're coming back down to retest a trend line structure that we broke through, and now testing it as support. So let's zoom out here, let's go on into the 30-minute time frame here. 30-minute time frame, as you can see, we broke bullish above these trend lines here, but then we had an immediate retest all the way back down, and now we're bumping back up here, just continuing to move kind of sideways in this area of the 12K, and then also probably within the 11.5. Our pivot low is right at about 11.5K, and so I'd imagine some consolidation here. You could see this nice squeeze that we had here over the weekend, and that squeeze over the weekend led us to this nice little price push to the upside here too as well. Let's go on into our 45-minute time frame too and see what we can determine here. 45-minute time frame giving us a nice little blood diamond here. You can see last time we got a blood diamond, it did lead to a little bit of a sell-off too. So I would imagine we're going to come back down here and retest some lower numbers. The interesting part about this is that I was also keeping a close eye on some of our altcoins, and it does look like some of the altcoins are making a nice little run up, such as Chainlink. That one has been relatively bullish. We are also getting ready for some more bullish news inside of our altcoins as well too. We all know that Ethereum 2.0 will be probably released by the end of the year or so, so we're still waiting on that. Cardano has Shelly mainnet that they just launched too as well, so a lot of information we're trying to stay up to date with. But if you are just getting in a few concise coins, then that's all you really need to keep a hold of, and make sure that you stay up to date with those coins and make sure you know what they're doing, so that way you can make the biggest gains possible. And then also just keeping up with the projects too. There's a lot of movement and a lot of money to be made in these markets as well. And I've also mentioned a few different altcoins that my Patreon members have also gotten into as well. I send out newsletters periodically. We'll talk about that here in a little bit, but we are looking zoomed out here on the higher time frames. We're going to go ahead and turn off our Cipher SR, and we're going to turn on our Aldo EMAs. This is a custom indicator I teach you how to set up inside of Patreon. And then we also have our trend lines here that we're kind of holding support above some certain trend lines. As you can see, looking at our 1 hour, money flow still looking relatively thinning out here for the most part. We did get this nice run up when we touched all the way back up to 12K for the first time, and then our second touch at 12K, starting to see a little bit more or a little bit less money coming into the market. Probably people being unsure of what direction Bitcoin might be going to. It's going to take a big market maneuver by one of these whales to really anticipate where we could be headed to in the near term future. So let's go on into our 90-minute time frame here. We are seeing a nice little EMA spread as we kind of pushed up above this trend line here. This was a nice trend line structure that I was kind of keeping a close eye on. This was the other triangle that we could have drawn out here too as well, all the way from down here to here, and then we had a clean break to the upside. So we took that long. If you were in my Patreon group, it was a late night for us, but we stayed up to wait to see what was going to happen, and we ended up taking the long and ended up with some nice profit there. So congratulations to everyone inside of the Patreon trading group. But let's go on into our 2 hour time frame and just kind of dissect this too here as well. We can see money flow is still rounding off. Does look like we are losing a little bit of momentum here. Money maybe taking its profits as we speak right now, and maybe as we continue out sideways, we are getting a nice clean trend line test back here from our wick, our death wick, all the way to the 100 EMA on the 2 hour, and then bouncing back up and then retesting again at this trend line area as support, which was once resistance. So if we hold through this trend line as support, then I would imagine that we'll probably stay pretty bullish. But what we're going to kind of want to keep a close eye on is to see whether or not we're going to end up selling off here. We could look for the 50 EMA, which is right at about 11.7, or the 100 EMA right at about 11.5. So I would imagine that we're probably still going to be bouncing in between the 11.5 and 12K area for a little bit longer before we decide to break above 12K or below the 11.5K area. But as you can see here, we've been on a steady incline. EMAs are steadily moving up here, still in an upwards trajectory, as you can see, which still leaves us in a more bullish sentiment, more or less. It's really going to take a lot of selling pressure here for us to maybe make a retracement back down. But you can see that money flow is still kind of taking their profit here. Maybe people sitting on the sideline waiting to see what the next play is going to be, if we're going to end up breaking through 12K or not. So let's go on into our 4 hour time frame, and we're going to come back over here. I do want to tell everyone that the Path to Cryptocurrency course is available. This is a beginner's course. If you're just getting started in crypto, you can learn exactly how to store your crypto, keep it safe off of the exchanges, learn how to buy crypto on exchanges, learn if you should KYC or not. If you are not interested in KYCing with an exchange, then how you can still obtain crypto, and then also just learning from basics all the way from the buying of cryptocurrency, and then getting into even some of the staking rewards and with your cryptocurrency too as well. So I'm going to be putting out quite a few videos for this, and this is a course that's going to be open forever, and you'll have access to it for that first purchase. So there is an early bird special going on right now. You can join it if you'd like. You'll have access from here on out. When you do, you get grandfathered into the course, and then all the course material that is updated throughout the expansion of the cryptocurrency space will be included in here. And so if you have any suggestions or you'd like to see something else, feel free to message me once you do join the course, and I'll be sure to help you out there as well. So you can make sure you see all the perks and rewards that you get when you do join the course. But that still is available as an early bird special, and I might be raising the price on it pretty soon. We'll have to keep an eye on it and see. And then also I do want to let everyone know that we do have a private trading group here available on Patreon. So you can check out the Patreon link in the description box below. You get a bunch of different perks and rewards. You get information on how I set up my charts, different custom indicators that I use as well. I dissect those for you. I tell you how to set them up. Some of them actually use custom parameters. My market cipher looks a little bit different than most people's. So I also tell you how I set up my charts. So that way you can just follow along here, and then maybe make some decent trades based off of how I set up my charts as well too. I also give all my ins and outs of the markets too as well. So whenever I take a sell or whenever I'm getting into a new coin, I update my Patreon members, I update the trading group members to let them know what I'm getting into at that time, and then when I might be taking profits too as well. We do a little bit of leverage trading too, on our Discord server. So if you want to join us in our private trading group page, be sure to join us in the Patreon membership. Right now, we are, we're having a few people join here and there. So I did take away the 35% off special, but usually I open it up at the beginning of the month. But if you want to get in there and start making profit with us, we just had a very nice trade all the way back up to 12K. I believe we entered in at about 11 something. I can jump over here in the Patreon page. Let's see here. So we did jump back in. We jumped back in at about 11.9, or no, where did we jump in at? Right at about 11.7. We jumped in at 11.7, rode it all the way up to 12K. A nice little scalp trade there for us too. So if you're interested in making some profit on the side, join us in the Patreon page. First or second link in the description box below. And then also we have our YouTube membership page. I'll upload all my private videos in here that I give my Patreon members. So if you are interested in getting some of those private altcoin or Bitcoin chart analysis, then you can join us in the Patreon or in the YouTube membership page. It is a little bit cheaper than the Patreon page, and that is another option that is available to you as well. We are on our way to 3,000 subs, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for allowing the channel to grow, for you commenting and liking each and every single video, taking your time out to watch this. That means that you're interested, you're dedicated, and I want to make sure that you actually qualify for our giveaway whenever we hit 3,000 subs. So we're doing a $100 giveaway in one of our favorite altcoins. In order to qualify for that giveaway, you need to be signed up for the newsletter here. So just make sure that you get signed up for it, and then once we get to 3,000 subs, we'll do the live drawing, and we will get back to you if you do end up winning through either your Discord or email. So jumping back into the charts here, looking at the 4-hour, steady increase here on Bitcoin. As you can see, we have this purple trend line that we are consistently just riding up and up and up on, and this is going to be a key price target for us. If we do break below this, then we could probably definitely see some major retracement into Bitcoin, possibly coming back down to that 10.5 area as well. But this does look like a major turning point for us if we do come back down and retest this trend line, and if we end up breaking below that, obviously. But our EMAs are still telling us that we still have quite a bit of room to keep going to the upside or come up a little bit further, maybe try and get past that 12K area, and then eventually maybe even push through that with a substantial amount of volume. Now, we did get brushed back at the 12K area. That means next time the bulls come back up to retest 12K, we're going to need to push through that really substantially with a lot of volume, and probably even break through to maybe a 12.5K area. You can see money flow here on the 4 hours starting to trickle off just a tad bit as well too. So I would imagine that we're still going to see a more sideways action from here on out. I don't think that it's our time just yet to get past 12K. If we do have maybe a price target at 12.5 or 13K, and then we'll have to see what's going to happen there. If we can get all the way back up to new all-time highs by the end of the year, that is the question, and we'll have to consistently keep our eyes on the charts to see whether or not that might be happening or not. Our 6 hour still showing us a little bit of rounded money flow here. We can see we've had a little bit of a bearish divergence happening here too as well, but our blue waves are starting to give us a little bit of diagonal direction to the other side and starting to give us a little bit of rounded structure here. So we're gonna have to keep a close eye on this, see how much Bitcoin is going to want to move sideways first before it decides to move higher or lower. And then as we go into our 8 hour time frame here, 8 hour time frame, money flow looking like it's ready to just continue to move sideways here. We are seeing a little bit of smaller momentum waves, which are our blue waves on market Cipher. And then you can see here that we are still trying to ride up above our 13 EMA on our 8 hour, but it does look like we are consistently getting closer to that 13 EMA, maybe wanting to break below it as well. Our 50 EMA on the 8 hour is right at about 11,100. So that could be another price target for us to push back down into those low 11K areas before we continue up higher. But we're gonna have to wait to see what kind of squeeze we get here, and maybe if we can get up above this trend line on the 8 hour, that'd be a nice little bullish play for us. Looking at the 12-hour as well, we're also seeing some nice steady money flow here just to continue out to the side. But it does look like that money is still, wanting to stay into this market a little bit longer on these higher time frames. Seeing a little bit of a bearish divergence here on our Cipher B blue waves as well too. And the fact that we are putting in a lower high on our blue wave, we're going to have to see whether or not we're going to get maybe a smaller trigger wave here to send us back down a little bit lower. That is a possibility, but I'm still expecting Bitcoin to probably trend out sideways a little bit longer before it decides a clear move. And looking at the 21-hour, pretty much the same. We are seeing green dots here on the 21-hour as well. Moving on into the daily, no sign of a green dot just yet. Now that's a big heads up for me because we did get the green dots on the lower time frames, but if we don't have the substantial amount of price movement to the upside here, we more than likely won't get that green dot on the 1 day, and we'll just continue to maybe even sell off here just a tad bit. VWAP looks like it's still kind of clipping down. It is kind of making a little bit of a curvature here, so we could end up getting that green dot, but our VWAP's still kind of unsure of itself right now. Money flow kind of moving off in a diagonal direction too as well. Let's go on into our daily here. We will turn on our buy and sell signals, which are also a custom indicator I teach you how to set up. And this is a free indicator, but it uses custom parameters, and I teach you how to set that up inside of the Patreon page as well. Let's go back over here. I want to let everyone know that the Telegram channel is available to the public if you're interested in joining it. Find the link in the description box below. I like to post polls, articles, news articles, things that I see from other people that, and then also when I post videos too, I'll be sure to let everyone know inside of the Telegram channel. So join us there if you'd like. And then also we have our Discord, public Discord, which is available. Link in the description box below. So if you kind of want to come in there and chat it up with a few people, ask people some questions as well, you can join us in there. You'll be brought to a welcome page whenever you first join. Just make sure you click the little green checkbox at the bottom, and then after that you should have full access to the Discord server. But the Patreon page, or the private trading group category, is for Patreon members only, and you'll have to pay to get access to that. Excellent. So then we also have Trading View here. We use the premium plan. I show my Patreon members how to get this for 50 to 60% off if you're interested. If you're using Market Cipher, I would at least recommend that you have at least the Pro or the Pro Plus plan. So be sure to check that out as well. It just allows you to have a few more indicators on the screen than just your normal Market Cipher package too. And then I use 3 commas to get in and out of the markets really quick on some of the leverage exchanges. You can learn how to program your own trading bots here if you'd like, and use their platform to help you trade with the Smart Trade platform as well. So be sure to check out 3 commas if you're interested in becoming a little bit more of a faster trader as well. And then you want to make sure that you have a Ledger Nano X or S. You can use my affiliate link in the description box below if you'd like to purchase your Ledger Nano X or S. Jumping back into the charts, we are seeing the C13 possibly to the downside here with the imperfect 9 as well, maybe indicating a little bit of bearish pressure that might be creeping up on us here short-termly. Looking at the 3-day chart, we did see a nice little buy signal here on the 3-day. We are having an 8 count here. Our next count would be the 9 more than likely, and then we could see a red dot on our 3-day. That is a firm possibility. Now, if we start to sell off here, we'll have to be very cautious of whether or not we get another green dot. And then continue up a little bit further. But money flow still looking like, it's still kind of just sitting sideways right now. 4-day actually kind of pushing up here a little bit. So that's actually pretty bullish for a 4-day chart. From here on out, this looks to be relatively bullish. We got clean closes above 10.8. I don't think we're going to come back down and retest 10.8, folks. This is looking like it's just ready to continue on up here. More likely, if we get a retest, it'll probably be at 11K or so. But I wouldn't expect anything lower than that. We could come back down and retest this trend line, as a quick liquidation wick. But we need to be very cautious of that. If we do, it would be right at about 10.8 or 10.7 that we do get that liquidation wick to the downside, and then continue our move from up there too as well. The fact that we're seeing buy signals all the way up on these higher time frames too as well leaves a relatively bullish taste in my mouth from here on out, going on into the rest of the next couple of days too as well. So we're really just gonna have to keep an eye on these lower time frames as we get moving into the rest of the week as well. And then looking at the 6-day, everything's still looking relatively good. We are starting to see a little bit of a topping out pattern here. This is a kind of a wonky trigger wave too. But if we do put in another trigger wave, then that could possibly send us back down. We could see somewhat of like a head and shoulders, but I would imagine that we'll probably push up a little bit higher before we get a head and shoulders here on the 6-day too as well. Sometimes those head and shoulders like to play out, so we have to be careful when those do appear on Cipher B as well. Weekly money flow still kind of looking thin here. But as we move on into the 2-week, our money flow is looking like it's ready to start to skyrocket. We have a clean green triangle break on our trend line here, and then now pushing through the upside. So things are looking relatively good for Bitcoin from here on out, but we're going to have to keep an eye on the lower time frames. Mainly, I'm calling out some scalping opportunities for us too as well, but things are still looking relatively bullish for us in the long run. So everyone, make sure that you have grabbed your position because they're printing stimulus checks left and right, or they're actually printing fiat money left and right, and all of that is going into Bitcoin and stock market. So just be ready. You're not gonna, divulge too much other than that, but yeah. Things are looking okay for Bitcoin from here on out. So I do want to let y'all know, if y'all are interested in earning some passive income, check out the Brave browser, which allows you to collect BAT token whenever you browse the web and click on ads. And then if you're interested in mining your own Bitcoin, check out CryptoTab browser too as well. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you stuck around with me this far, comment down below 2-hour chart, since that's where we're at right now. We got this retest on our trend line structure here. We're going to wait to see if we break below that or not. And then if we do, then we could come back down to retest 11.5, maybe find 11.5 as support, and continue our way up from there. Now, we could just go straight back up and test 12K again. We're going to need to see a nice volume spike to get through 12K. If not, then we're probably more likely going to trend out sideways here between 11 and 12K for a few more days, maybe going on into next week. So with that being said, everyone, I'll see y'all in the next one. This is Crypto Takeover, and peace.